Hey guys, happy Sunday. Welcome back to Speaking360. Those of you who are already part of the community, if you're brand new and checking out our channel for the first time, then thank you. I think you might find this interesting. We're talking about the way we talk to ourselves and how it relates to speaking. And I think we all have many choices in life, don't we? But one of the kind of fundamental choices we have is to decide whether we're going to be our own biggest cheerleader. Let me ask you, what do you think? Are you your own biggest cheerleader? Do you champion your every effort, salute your bravery every time you do something new, whether it works or not? Or are you your fiercest critic, your harshest critic? Because many of us are like this, aren't we? If we try something new and it doesn't work, you idiot! How can you be so stupid? What you were thinking? Did you really think that was going to work? We berate ourselves very often, don't we? So are you your biggest cheerleader? Are you the first one? Or are you your fiercest critic, the second one? Because it's so easy to be one of these. And typically it's the fiercest critic, isn't it, by default? And it can make a big difference because we kind of make these judgments in the moment. I remember 15 years ago now, I was doing a presentation. At the time, I was just started studying cognitive behavioral hypnotherapy. So I was kind of digging into the mind and beliefs and the impact it has at the London College of Clinical Hypnotherapy in London. And I'm studying this, and I've been asked to speak at this event, and I'm speaking to a group of 200-300 people, and there's a lady in the front, right at the front, like one row back from the front, right in front of me, and she's asleep. She's obviously asleep, head not quite dribbling, but looks like it's not going to be long. Fast asleep in the front row. I'm looking at this, and it's very off-putting, isn't it, when you look out and you see someone speaking? Well, in that moment, very often, we can decide our future, because when beliefs are formed, when we adopt beliefs, then we tend not to think about them again, and they run our life. They control our life. And so it's very interesting for me at the time to be studying the levels of cognition. There's this particular piece that was relevant to this at the university, and kind of witnessing it potentially playing out in front of me. So the levels of cognition, I think you'll find this interesting because it explains a great deal about these decisions that we reach. The first level of cognition is observation. This is where we observe what's going on. So in this case, when I was speaking, someone fell asleep. That's my observation. But very often we don't leave it there, do we? The next level beyond an observation is a description. This is where we're interpreting it a little bit more. When I was speaking, someone fell asleep because she was bored. This lady fell asleep because she was bored. Obvious to everyone. So observation, when I was speaking, someone fell asleep. Description, because she was bored. But again, we don't leave it there. We kind of interpret this a little more. We infer from this. So level 3 is inference. So we've gone from observation to description to inference. And now I'm inferring that when I was speaking, someone fell asleep because she was bored with my presentation. See, I don't actually know that, do I? But that's what I'm thinking. It's natural in the moment. When you look out, when you're speaking, you take it personally. Someone's asleep in the front row. It must be me, and it must be my presentation. But again, we don't leave it there. We take it to the 4th level, the most dangerous level of all. The evaluation, a full emotional evaluation of what's going on. When I was speaking, someone fell asleep because she was bored with my presentation because I'm a terrible presenter. That's what this means. I'm a terrible presenter. See how easy it is to do this without even thinking about it. And many of you might be thinking, well, I can see that. Yeah, but she did fall asleep because she was bored with your presentation because you're a terrible presenter. But we don't actually know that. So the interesting thing is the line here, the observation, is the only factual level. This is observing pretty much with certainty the facts. I could say that most people there would have looked at her and said she was asleep. She wasn't dead. She wasn't resting. She wasn't having a fit or anything else. She was asleep. That's a fact. We can say that was a fact. She was asleep. I could observe that. But everything else here below the line is a fantasy that I'm projecting onto that fact. I've decided this is what it means. It means she was bored. I've decided that she was bored with my presentation, and then I've taken complete personal responsibility, complete responsibility for her sleeping and decided that it's because I'm a terrible presenter. I'll probably take it even further, and I'll never be any good because I'm just not cut out for this. No, we don't know any of these things are true. I don't know any of those things are true. I just saw someone who appeared to be asleep. It may have been because she was bored with my presentation, let's face it. It's a possibility. Or she may have been tired. In fact, many people turned up late for the presentation, and the host said, this is normal for this country. You know, it's like Sunday morning. People have been out partying into the small hours on Saturday. It's very normal for them to turn up late. Don't take it personally. So she may have just been tired. That may have been why she fell asleep. Or she may have been bored, of course. But I don't know that she was bored with my presentation. She could have been bored with life. She could have been bored with a boyfriend or a marriage or who knows what she was bored with if she was bored. And then even if she was bored with my presentation, I don't know it's because I'm a terrible presenter. That's a self-defeating conclusion, isn't it? And probably I would go on to, you know, in this situation, many people do say, well, it's because I'm not a natural speaker. I'm a terrible presenter because I'm not a natural speaker. So what's the point? See how dangerous this is? We're going beyond the facts. We're making it up. This is the story that we tell ourselves about ourselves. And it's not helpful. It's not helpful. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, doesn't it? See, look, if I decide I'm a terrible presenter, what impact does that have? If that's the belief I hold, then that's the way I see life. I'm a terrible presenter. So what's the point? What's the point in even trying? If I'm a terrible presenter, I'm never going to be any good, then there's no point, is there? And if I conclude that there's no point, then what do? I avoid presenting. And if I avoid presenting, what does that mean? It means that I'm avoiding growth, because presenting is the actual process that helps me get better. But I'm not doing that. So I'm a terrible presenter. That means there's no point. If there's no point, then I avoid presenting. If I avoid presenting, I avoid growth. And if I avoid growth, then I'm stuck where I am. And that actually means that I am a terrible presenter. But it's not because of my genes. It's not because of bad luck. It's because I've decided not to grow, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is so dangerous. It really is. Look what Goethe said about this all those years ago. He said, see a person as they are, and you only make them worse. So if you look out and see someone as they are, you only make them worse. But if you see them as they could be, then you help them to become all that they could be. This is really juicy, isn't it? And I know those of us who have teams or work with people, or even your family or people around you, you know, when we see this, we look out and it's tempting to kind of, well, you've got to be realistic. They're never going to amount to anything. Well, is that what being realistic is when you're dealing with people? You see them as they are and just decide they can't grow anymore. John Maxwell says that you should put a 10 on the head of everyone you see. Everyone you see, put a 10 on the head. See them as a 10. It applies to everyone you meet. And then you help them, as Goethe was saying. You help them to become all they can be. But we shouldn't just put a 10 on everyone else's head. We should put a 10 on our own head as well. You should put a 10 on your head because you're amazing. See the best in everyone else and see the best in yourself as well. And then you help yourself to become all that you could be. It's interesting, isn't it? So are you looking out at the world like a thermometer, just kind of seeing what is? Are you being realistic? There's no point in pretending I'm ever going to develop these skills. I've got to be realistic. I've got to face the facts. I'm hopeless and I'm never going to learn to be anything else. Are you a realist like that? Is that helping you and to other people? No, of course not. Or are you more like the thermostat? Yes, it's 72 degrees in here now, but I think it could be 80 if we hold that vision and stick at it. Are you more of a visionary? Are you a realist like the thermometer, or are you a visionary like the thermostat, changing the temperature of your life? Simple, really, isn't it? I love it. Good stuff. So thanks very much for tuning in. We'd love it if you like the video on YouTube. That would be great. If you want to put a comment up for what you like or what you see more of or what you don't want to see more of, we appreciate that as well. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And thank you to all of you who have thousands and thousands of you have. We very much appreciate that. And if you want to share the link so that you get an email every week with the video sent to your inbox, speaking360.com, pop your email in there and we'll send it to you, and also you'll stay in touch. And if anyone else you think they would benefit, then share the link, speaking360.com with them. That's it for this week. Thanks guys. See you soon. Take care. Bye bye. God bless.